Good day, everyone, and welcome back to Unpopular Aussie Opinions, the corner of Australian sport where we don't just poke the bear, we give it a right royal nudge and watch the fireworks. I'm your host, and today, we are staring down the barrel of a scandal that's got the rugby league universe spinning like a try-scorer's jink on a wet Suncorp pitch. Andrew Abdo, the polished CEO of the NRL, the bloke who steered this ship through COVID storms and broadcast bonanzas, has been caught red-handed in a leaked email trail that's allegedly dangling a staggering $1.2 billion in front of the Players' Union. Yeah, you heard that right. $1.2 billion, not in loose change, but in cold, hard promises of player payouts, welfare funds, and who knows what else. The Rugby League Players Association is howling foul, calling it a shady backroom deal that bypassed proper channels, and now the game's elite are in uproar, demanding heads on platters. But in the finest tradition of this channel, here's my unpopular hot take. This isn't the villainous heist it's being spun as. It's a desperate, brilliant gambit from a league boss fighting to keep the code afloat in a world where dollars dictate dynasties. Abdo emailing $1.2 billion? Good on him. It's the wake-up call rugby league needs to stop whinging about scraps and start feasting on the future. Strap in, mates, because we're dissecting this email apocalypse from the boardroom leaks to the locker room laments, and by the end, you might just toast the man in the hot seat. Let's paint the picture, shall we? It's a balmy October evening in 2025, the kind where the Brisbane humidity clings like a bad habit, and the NRL's gleaming headquarters in Mile End is buzzing quieter than usual. Andrew Abdo, the South African-born number cruncher turned footy saviour, fires off what he thinks is a confidential missive to the Rugby League Players Association brass. The subject line? Something innocuous like pathway to partnership, unlocking the next CBA era. Inside, it's dynamite. Abdo lays out a vision, a collective bargaining agreement that pumps a jaw-dropping $1.2 billion into player coffers over the next 5 years. We are talking salary cap hikes that'd make a miner's payday look stingy, enhanced welfare packages covering mental health warriors and post-career crash courses, even equity stakes in league ventures like the women's game and Pacific Pathways. It's not just money, it's a blueprint for utopia, with Abdo waxing lyrical about shared prosperity and sustainable growth, quoting figures from Deloitte reports and broadcast windfalls that total north of $2 billion in league revenues by 2030. The email leaks faster than a forward pass in a sevens tournament, first to News Corp journos nursing coffees in the Sydney CBD, then exploding across Fox Sports tickers and every footy podcast from Perth to Port Moresby. By dawn, hashtag Abdo $1.2 billion is trending harder than a grand final sealer, with memes of Abdo as a monopoly banker handing out deeds to Suncorp Stadium. The RLPA. They are apoplectic. Union Chief Clint Newtown fires back a statement that's all fire and brimstone. This unilateral email undermines the democratic process. We are not for sale via backdoor deals. $1.2 billion sounds pretty, but without transparency, it's fool's gold. Players chime in. Cameron Smith, the retired oracle, tweets a cryptic talk is cheap, trust is earned, while Latrell Mitchell posts a video from his Souths gym, sweat-drenched and steely-eyed. We bleed for this game. We won't be bought with leaked promises. Even the coaches pile on. Wayne Bennett rumbling from Dolphins HQ that it's a dog's breakfast of distraction when we need unity. The ARL Commission scrambles, issuing a terse review underway, but the damage is done. Abdo's dragged before the cameras outside NRL Towers, tie askew, that trademark calm cracking just a fraction as he insists. This was exploratory dialogue, not dictation. The figures reflect our commitment to the game's guardians. To understand the shock, you need the backstory, and boy, is it a ripper. Abdo's no wide-eyed rookie. He's the bloke who turned the NRL into a billion-dollar beast. Remember 2020? The world in lockdown, footy fields fallow, and Abdo, then interim CEO, pulls off the impossible, resuming the season as the first major code down under, bunkering everyone in Queensland bubbles while the AFL and cricket limped. Fast forward to now, under his watch, the NRL's inked a mega broadcast deal worth $1.2 billion over 5 years alone with Channel 9 and Fox, added the Dolphins as the 17th club, and launched the Women's Premiership into sold-out spectacles. Player payments? They've ballooned from $375 million annually in 2019 to projected $450 million by 2026, with welfare funds hitting $20 million yearly. But here's the rub. The RLPA's been at loggerheads since the last CBA expired in 2023, haggling over everything from tackle counts to tattoo clauses. Enter the email. Abdo, sensing deadlock, goes rogue with the big number, $1.2 billion as the golden carrot, hoping to jolt negotiations. Leaked? Some say it was a plant by union hardliners to paint him as the puppet master. Others whisper it's club CEOs, salty over cap squeezes, stirring the pot. The league's in meltdown mode, and it's glorious chaos. Pundits on Sen Radio are frothing, bumper corns calling it the biggest own goal since Joey John's drop bomb in '04, while Braithen Astor, ever the diplomat, warns of irreparable trust fractures. Fan forums from the Broncos bunker to the Eels empire are war zones, Queenslanders decrying it as Sydney-centric sleight of hand, while NSW Blues reckon it's overdue largesse. Sponsors twitch, Tui's tweets support for fair play, but whispers of review clauses circulate. And the players? Split like a state of origin try-line. Veterans like Daly Cherry Evans nod approvingly. If it means better for the young blokes, sign me up, while firebrands like Jason Demetriou, fresh from Rabbitoh's redemption, label it corporate overreach. Abdo's personal toll? The man's a family man, manly tragic with kids who idolize Ruben Garrick. Now he's dodging doorstepping hacks, his LinkedIn flooded with pitchfork emojis. Yet he stands firm in presses, that chartered accountant poise intact. 1.2 billion isn't a bribe, it's the value we place on our warriors. Now, for the unpopular meat in the sandwich. I'm backing Abdo to the hilt, and here's why it riles the purists. Rugby league's always been the battler's code. Minor sons and shearers kin grafting for glory amid the grind. But wake up, folks. It's 2025, not 1975. The AFL splashing 2.5 billion in player pots, the NRLW's drawing crowds that'd shame some men's rounds, and global eyes, think Vegas shows and PNG bids, are on us. Abdo's email? It's not skullduggery, it's statesmanship. That 1.2 billion could fund academies in Alice Springs, mental health hubs in Indigenous heartlands, even equity for players in league tech startups. Without it, we are dinosaurs, clinging to wooden spoons while soccer laps us with messy millions. The leaks are beat up, mates. Proper channels move slow as a scrum feed, and Abdo's just accelerating the inevitable. Critics cry bypass, rubbish. He's the CEO, elected to lead, not linger in red tape. Imagine if he'd sat silent. Wooden spoons multiply, stars bolt to rugby union's riches, and the code crumbles. No, this shocks a spark, exposing how fragile our footy fortress is when dollars dance. Think bigger, though. This saga ripples like a Reece Walsh grubber kick. Club CEOs, already cap-crunched post-Dolphins expansion, either pie warily. Brisbane's Kevin Walters muttering about unfunded mandates, while Penrith's Ivan Cleary salivates over welfare boosts for his dynasty depth. The women's game? Supercharged, that 1.2 billion earmarks 200 million for NRLW parity, turning Tamika Upton into a household name alongside Nathan Cleary. Internationals? Pacific nations get a slice, bolstering Fiji Barty bids and Tongan pathways, making Origin look like a local derby. Even the referees, those unsung saints, benefit. Abdo's missive nods to integrity funds, shielding them from the coach bashing that's plagued recent series. And the fans? We win too. Higher caps mean flashier signings, fewer fire sales, more band burners under Friday night lights. But let's not sugarcoat the fallout. Trust's the casualty here. And rebuilding it? Tougher than tackling Tedesco on a burst. The RLPA might boycott media, players sit out all stars, and whispers of a players' strike echo from 1990 Super League scars. Abdo's seat? Wobbly. ARLC chair Peter V'landys, the horse racing hardhead, is reportedly fuming at the optics, demanding a full audit. If it unravels, we get CBA gridlock, frozen salaries, stalled seasons, the lot. Yet silver lining. Scandal breeds scrutiny, and scrutiny sharpens steel. Abdo could emerge the hero, brokering a deal that cements his legacy. 1.2 billion not as a leaked lure, but a locked-in lifeline. Spare a nod for the man himself, too. Andrew Abdo, migrant kid from Joburg, crunching numbers at Deloitte before diving into footy's fray. He's no silver spoon suit. He's the bloke who balanced books during pandemic peril, turning losses to legacies. That email? Born of passion, not perfidy. A vision for a code where players prosper, not just perform. His family's shield from the storm, but we Aussies know resilience. He'll bounce back, moustache metaphorical and all. In the end, NRL Nation, this 1.2 billion email earthquake isn't Armageddon, it's evolution. Abdo caught emailing fortunes? Call it courage, not crime. It forces us to confront the cash conundrum, romanticize the rough at your peril, or embrace the billions and build unbreakable. That's my heresy. Cheers to the CEO shaking the tree. What about you? Backdoor brilliance or boardroom betrayal? Flood the comments. Like if you're team transparency with teeth, subscribe for more unvarnished Aussie sports skewers, and remember, in footy, as in life, the bold bucks win. Until next time.